Hi guys, how y'all doing? This is my post-match reaction to France beating England by 24 points to 17. It was a strange game, but you expect that with France. However, France, I think, on the whole, deserved to win. They were the better side for 60 minutes, and it wasn't until a couple of moments of magic from Johnny May in the second half that England had a chance of getting back into the game. Overall, France in the first half, they were better, they were more disciplined, they were sharper, they were organised. England, the complete opposite of all of that. The only thing England had the better of over France throughout the game was the set pieces, really. That came to tell a little bit towards the end of the second half, but on the whole, apart from that, France just all over England in open play at breakdowns. They were more accurate, more disciplined in defence as well. And in the end, I think it's their defence that's what won it for them. Shaun Edwards clearly making a very quick impact. I mean, what a coach he is. Can't take that away from him that he's gone into France such a short period of time. I thought there would be moments we would see Edwards' coaching in this French team, but I wasn't sure if it would be enough to keep England out over 80 minutes. But didn't keep them out for the entire 80 minutes, of course, but for the most part, they were very solid, very well organised defensively. They were still putting good weight into their tackles and keeping their structure right till pretty much the end of the game. So that's clearly the impact, combined with Galtier's structured attack, which was very effective in the first half and did enough to get France the win. So yeah, the tries. The first French try was great vision by Dupont. He spotted there was a mini gap outside of Sam Underhill. He drew Sam Underhill a bit and drew in Teddy Thomas. Thomas ran round Underhill and missed the tackle, created the gap, went through, and then got behind the England defence. They went through the phases, passed out to the left, then a clever little flick back inside from Ntamack to Rates, who replaced the great Damien Penaud before the match. Penaud getting a calf injury before the match started, and Rates, who had a very good game to be fair on the left wing for France, came in and replaced him, and he scored the opening try. England defence looked shoddy, they were caught cold then. And then the second try, this is a dubious one because it went up in the air. It came off England hands slightly as it was in the air, which means all the French players were onside. But as it was in the air, Olivon looked like he challenged it, but it didn't look like he fully touched it to me. It was very marginal. It came off Courtney Laws, bounced out, and then Olivon ran up and scored France's second try. But even if it was a bit dubious that Olivon might have touched it before Laws, it looked very marginal to me. England had no excuse to switch off there. They just all stopped playing, and it left Olivon acres of space just to run up and score, make it 14-0, and then... no, sorry, it was 17-0 because Ntamack had kicked a penalty. And then the rest of the half, France just fully on top. England started a non-fit Tuolangi. He came off injured in the first half, replaced by Joseph. But the rest of the England team, Eddie Jones just looked like he was going with the team he knew that it worked with at the World Cup, even though the halfbacks form since the World Cup hasn't been good enough. Owen Farrell didn't look anywhere near as sharp as he knew he was capable of. A couple of basic drop ball errors in the first half. Tom Curry, whilst he got a bit better in the second half, in the first half showed he's clearly not a number 8. George Furbank at fullback looked shaky and rusty through most of the game pretty much. I think the only player that can really hold his hand up and say he had an excellent game was Johnny May, apart from the second French try, obviously, from England's point of view. In the second half, England got more of the ball. Again, they capitalised on how poor France were at the set pieces. That's one area France need to definitely improve on if they're going to be in with a chance of winning the Six Nations, is the set pieces, because England had them on toast for large spells in the game today. But anyway, they exploited them at set pieces and a couple of lineouts, pushed them back into their 22, and then had phase after phase, attack after attack, and France held them out. And then eventually France got up the pitch a bit later on. Dupont, with some brilliant vision and a brilliant step around, went up the blind side, passed inside to Olivon, who went over to score and made it 24-0. And Dupont was absolutely brilliant today. I thought he was man of the match. The only exception was, of course, that kick right at the end where he kicked it straight out on 79 minutes, forgetting that it's an 80-minute game. But aside from that, he was absolutely brilliant. Even though Gregory Aldrit got man of the match, Aldrit was brilliant as well in the pack, as was the whole pack. Olivon, excellent for France. Leroux, I think he was the top tackler today. He was brilliant. And also the Cruz blindside had a great game in the pack. Fico at 12 I thought was excellent. And I thought the new fullback, Bouthier, the Montpellier fullback, looks a very solid fullback, and he had a great game too. For France. But anyway, after 24-0, two brilliant bits of magic from Johnny Gray. England just went up the narrow side, passed it to him. First one, great kick over the top, went, chased it, kicked ahead and scored. The second one, just brilliant footwork. That is just fantastic footwork. Stepped inside all around a French defence, which looked like it was tiring a bit at that point, but he exploited it brilliantly, got it back to 24-14. And then France found their defensive mojo a bit again after that, after England were attack after attack, trying to push for a bonus point try, or at least a try that would get them the chance of winning. It never came. Eventually, they did get their bonus point, England, through Owen Farrell kicking the penalty right on 80 minutes. They got a penalty off a scrum, and they just decided to be pragmatic and go for the bonus point to make it 24-17, which, again, from a pragmatic point of view, because they weren't going to win the game, I can understand why they did that, so no big gripes there. Going forward, this French team, as I said, the coaching of Fabien Galtier and of Sean Edwards especially was very evident here, both, as I said, in defence and with Galtier's structure and attack. They looked a lot better in attack with regards to how they were setting up their pods, when to move the ball wide, and when to go forward and be direct, and playing what's actually in front of them. And that played great effect to the 3 tries they scored. England, honestly, they just look kind of flat. They just look, for the most part, apart from Johnny May, who was excellent, the rest of the team looked very flat, didn't look in form. And I'd say, from a Scottish point of view, we'd have a decent chance of beating them next week. But I know they'll be a lot sharper, England. They'll be looking to bounce back very quickly, especially knowing that they haven't beaten us the last couple of times that we've played them. But I mean, I'd say if England play like they did today, we've got a very good shot against them. But that's for next week. Hope you like what I had to say here. Well done to France. Commiserations to England. I'll have a video out later tonight doing a proper review of the weekend's games with Brandon from BIS Rugby. So that's something to look forward to. Thank you for listening, guys, and I'll catch you later on.